Welcome back everyone, Crowon is here again, and we're going to tackle UCE Skill Categories. So we're going to go ahead and get that import into our project. So the center, Skill Categories. I'm going to import that. This is going to give you a nice way to clean up the skills section so you can have different actual tabs for types, so you could arrange them by any type you want to make it a little nicer, but then they can also look at them for all types as well if you want it. So let's get that README open. Alright, bring that over, open that up. Fantastic. Mine is opened in a very weird location, so I'm just adjusting that. Alright. Alright, so we have no core changes that we need to make. This is a pretty straightforward add-on as well. So let's just go ahead and do what we need to do. Move that down so I have more space. And we need to add this to our canvas. So actually we're gonna put it in a specific spot. I want it to be where skills is here. So I'm just gonna put it right underneath there. You're gonna hide the original skills because we don't need it anymore. Otherwise what's gonna happen is they're both gonna pop up with R. They both will still function, but it just makes a little bit confusing. So it's better to have them separate and not use one or the old one. Alright, so we're going to want to go ahead and expand this because we're going to need it in a second. We're going to scroll up to our shortcuts, click on that, and scroll down and find the skill panel here. And we're going to replace it with the UCE skill panel. And there you go. And then we should be golden there. So now you can just go ahead and close that up. We'll save it. Actually, we'll open it back up. We're going to make a quick modification, just so it looks neater. So in here, when you expand all the way through, you have button groups. Now these are going to show up at the top based on your category. So you're going to want to make one of these for every type of category you're going to utilize. So the very first one here is set up to be the anything, which is empty right here. But if you go to the second one, you can see this one says tier 1 and this one will say tier 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the word damage. Damage skills are going to show on this one. And then we're going to do defensive skills are going to show on this one. And we're going to duplicate that one. And I was going to add a 4 instead just to make it look clean. And this one I'm going to put buff. So now those are going to show up. Now if you highlight all of them, they're going to be a little big. And they're probably going to go off the screen a little bit unless you plan to make this a bigger skill menu. So I'm going to make them 60 so they fit in there. And then we're going to want to set the category name. So the first one's set to all, but these have a name of tier 1, tier 2, and so on still. So let's make that damage. We're going to set this one to defense, and the last one to buff. And there, now we'll have all the correct names, so it doesn't just say tier 1, tier 2, so on. Now we can collapse that up, save. And down here, we're going to have on our skills, so you'll go into resources and skills, and we're going to go in the warrior here. We also have all these other ones we created, so we'll go through all of them because it's actually pretty straightforward. Alright, so hard shell, this would be a defensive ability. So we're going to go ahead and find where the category is set somewhere in here. Let me collapse that. There it is. So it was right at the bottom of the AI one. So we want to tell what category it shows up in. It'll always show up in all. If you leave it blank, it will only show up in all. But like here we put no, this isn't damage, this is a defense. So we put defense in there. And then we'll go to the next one. This is a buff. So we're going to go ahead and put buff in here. I'm just going to copy that one because the next ability is the same thing. There it is. And then we have a damage ability here. So copy that and go to the next one. That's also a damage ability. And then we had the ones we created. So this one we know is a defensive ability we made. This one is technically a damage ability. Then we have another defensive ability. And then these would be buffs. So let's go ahead and give them their names. And there we go. So we'll save that. We'll go and close all those up. And that should be it. So we're going to go ahead and hit play. Get on in here, pick our one character. We hit R, and now you can see we have these categories at the top. We start on all, and we can see all of our abilities in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to damage, and now you'll just see the damage abilities. Same thing for defense, and same thing for buffs. Very good. And back to all, and they're all here again. Fantastic. And that is everything that there is to do with skill categories. So I'll catch you in the next one.